Rain walked slowly at first. She wasn't trying to run away. She wasn't trying to be disobedient. She simply wanted one more look, one more minute, one more chance to enjoy the celebration. The farther she walked, the quieter the forest became. Soon the sounds of the village disappeared completely. Rain didn't notice. She was too busy thinking about the feast, the dancing, the music, the games. Back with the rest of the village, the line of nomads continued moving toward the hollows. Parents counted children. Elders checked supplies. Scouts watched the forest. Everyone had a job. Rain's father glanced down, then froze. The spot beside him was empty. His stomach dropped. He looked behind him. No rain. He looked ahead. No rain. Rain! Several nearby nomads turned. Rain's father spun around. Rain! There was no answer. Chip stopped walking. What happened? Rain's gone. Porky's eyes widened. What do you mean gone? I mean she's not here. Immediately, several adults began searching the line of travelers. Rain? Has anybody seen Rain? I thought she was with her father. No, I thought she was with your group. The answers only made things worse. Nobody knew where she was. Rain's father took a step back toward the celebration grounds. I'll go get her. Before he could leave, two young scouts stepped forward. We'll find her. Rain's father hesitated. Every instinct told him to run after his daughter himself. But the village still needed to reach the hollows. The children still needed protection. The scouts were faster, and they knew the forest better than anyone. One scout nodded. We'll bring her home. The other tightened the sling hanging at his side. We know where to look. Rain's father looked toward the distant celebration grounds, then toward the approaching danger he couldn't yet see. Finally, he nodded. Bring my little girl back. The two scouts smiled. We will. Without another word, they turned and sprinted into the forest. One veered left, the other right, each taking a different path, each searching for the missing child. Meanwhile, Rain continued walking. The celebration grounds should have been nearby. At least she thought they should be. But every tree looked the same. Every root looked the same. Every path looked the same. For the first time all day, a small feeling of worry crept into her chest. Rain stopped. Slowly, she turned in a circle. The celebration grounds were nowhere to be seen. Rain stood perfectly still. A few moments earlier, she had been annoyed. Now she was scared. The celebration grounds were gone. The path back to the village was gone. Nothing looked familiar anymore. Tall roots twisted across the forest floor like giant walls. Bushes seemed larger. The shadows beneath the trees felt darker. Rain swallowed hard. Dad? Her voice sounded small. The forest gave no answer. Rain turned and started walking again. Maybe the celebration grounds were just over the next root. Maybe the village was behind the next tree. Maybe her father was nearby. But every direction looked exactly the same. A tear rolled down her cheek. Dad! Still nothing. Rain wiped her eyes. The knot in her stomach grew tighter. She wasn't upset anymore. She wasn't thinking about dancing anymore. She wasn't thinking about the feast anymore. She just wanted to go home. Dad! This time her voice cracked. The forest remained silent. Rain sat down beside a large mushroom. Tears began falling freely now. Dad! She buried her face in her hands. Not far away, Scout 1 moved carefully through the woods. He paused. For a moment, he thought he heard something. A faint sound drifted between the trees. Crying. The scout tilted his head. There it was again. Dad! Relief washed over him. Rain. He changed direction immediately and followed the sound. Around roots, over fallen twigs, between patches of ferns. The crying grew louder. Then he spotted her. Rain sat beneath the mushroom, tears streaming down her face. The scout smiled. Rain. Rain looked up. For a second, she simply stared. Then she jumped to her feet and ran toward him. I got lost. The words came out between sobs. I know. I couldn't find a village. I know. I couldn't find Dad. The scout knelt beside her. Your dad's looking for you. Rain sniffled. Really? Really. Before Rain could say anything else, she suddenly called out again. Dad! The scout's eyes widened. In one quick motion, he gently covered her mouth. Shh! Rain froze. The scout glanced through the trees, listening, watching. The human was still somewhere in the forest, far away perhaps, but not far enough. After a few moments, he lowered his hand. Rain's eyes were wide now. The scout spoke quietly. We have to be careful. Rain nodded. Can we go home now? The scout smiled. That's exactly what we're going to do. Rain slipped her hand into his. Together they started through the forest toward the hidden hollows. For the first time since getting lost, Rain felt safe again. She had no idea the biggest danger of the day was waiting just ahead. Rain stayed close to the scout, very close. She didn't want to get lost again. The scout led the way through the forest, carefully choosing each path. We're almost there, he said. Rain nodded. She was quiet now. The excitement of the celebration was gone. The adventure of sneaking away was gone. All she wanted was to see her father. The forest seemed different than before. Louder, stranger, more dangerous. A squirrel suddenly darted across a nearby branch. Rain jumped. The scout smiled. It's only a squirrel. Rain wasn't laughing. The two continued forward. Roots rose around them like walls. Fern leaves brushed against their shoulders. Somewhere overhead, a bird called out. Then the scout stopped. Rain nearly walked into him. What is it? She whispered. The scout didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on something ahead. Rain followed his gaze. At first, she didn't see it. Then she noticed thin silver strands stretching between two roots. A web, a very large web. The scout slowly stepped forward. More strands appeared, then more. The web spread across the entire path. Rain's heart began to pound. The scout's expression changed. He knew what this meant. Slowly, very slowly, he lifted his eyes toward the center of the web. Rain followed and froze. A giant spider sat motionless among the strands. Its body was larger than a wagon. Its long legs stretched across the web like tree branches. For a moment, neither Rain nor the scout moved. Neither did the spider. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Rain squeezed the scout's hand. The spider's front legs twitched. One leg moved, then another. The creature slowly turned, facing them. Rain's eyes widened. The spider had seen them. The scout carefully pushed Rain behind him. Stay back! His voice was calm, but Rain could hear the tension in it. The spider began moving. One step, then another. The web trembled beneath its weight. The scout slowly reached toward the sling hanging at his side. Rain looked from the spider to the scout. The spider moved closer. The scout wrapped his fingers around the sling. The spider moved closer still. The distance between them grew smaller and smaller. The scout pulled the sling free. To be continued. This isn't the end of the story. It's only the beginning. Tune in for the next episode, A World of the Nomads. If you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, and share and hit the comments. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you want to see more of. Let's talk.